Hey Carla. Hey Trish. Hey Liz, Hallie, Tracy. Hey Landra, Alan. Well, we survived. It's Friday. I don't know how many of you are still having to go into work. I know that here in this house we are. We the two jobs that we have are Subway restaurant and medicine shop pharmacy. So um, both of those are essential, and we are still open on both of them. So we've been out of the house and working every day, which I don't know if that's good or bad during all this. It's good in that our schedule has pretty much stayed the same, but it's probably bad that we're being exposed to a lot. Um, but nothing too drastic. We're certainly not getting bogged down and bored, and a lot of the posts that I see of people. And we have no children to homeschool, so that's even better. We just have our two girl dogs, and they can't be trained anyway, so you know they'll probably make a pass through or something here because the warm weather has our puppy, who I guess she's still a puppy because she's certainly acting like a puppy. She's been just wild since the warm weather has really hit, and she's running and barking and yelling and all that stuff. So she may make an appearance. I don't know. Before I get started, update on Dad. He was released from the hospital this afternoon, so we dispatched my mom and my niece Haley to go to Lexington to pick him up. So that's good news. He's out. He'll have to be probably in quarantine for a couple of weeks because they actually had him on uh, one of the viral floors, I guess. Maybe that's where they're putting everybody who's in the hospital these days, consolidating it. But he was in lockdown pretty much, and so he'll be in lockdown at home for a couple of weeks while he heals up and hopefully gets past this surgery. Tonight, since one of the few places that any of us can still go is the grocery store, I thought I would read a story from my book about going to the grocery store and something that happened there to kind of break the monotony of everything and give you a little humor break. And again, I'm reading from my book, Bernadette Peters Hates Me, True Tales of a Delusional Man, from Humor Outcast Press. The name of this story is Free Range Bird. I am obsessed with food, and not in the way that immediately comes to mind when a fat man says those words. I'm constantly reading labels and trying to find organic products on my quest to be a healthy person. My normal diet is mostly vegetarian, and I have even considered going vegan. Okay, I've read about the vegan lifestyle. I'm a member of a CSA, a community-supported agriculture farm, which basically means I get large baskets of fresh, locally grown organic fruit and vegetables each week without having to actually tend a farm. Regardless of how much I support local farms, I still have to go to the grocery store each week for a lot of my food, and even then I still try to buy organic products. Living in the Appalachian Mountains in a rural Kentucky town seriously hinders this effort. You don't find much locally grown baby bok choy in the produce aisle at the Save-A-Lot or the Piggly Wiggly. As a result, not only do I have to leave the local farms and mom and pop stores behind, but I also have to shop at the giant mega grocery stores. Don't get me wrong, I love a good outing to Sam's Club or Costco and buying huge bulk items, usually large pallets of dog food to feed our normal-sized Dudley and the horse who thinks he's a dog, Duke. Plus, there's a certain comfort in knowing that I'll have enough olive oil to supply my entire cul-de-sac, or that I'll not run out of toilet paper should my entire household get stricken with a nasty stomach virus. And just a side note, this was probably written in 2012, 2013, so who knew that I was foreshadowing a toilet paper shortage to come. But I'm covered because, again, I've said it before. It's a fear of mine, and I'll not get stuck with no toilet paper. My main concern about these high-ceiling superstores can be boiled down into two words: trapped birds. I'm deathly afraid of these trapped birds. You all have noticed them. They're always there, lurking. You're minding your own business, trying to decide on which flavor of hamburger helper to buy when suddenly it does a flyby. You know the stupid bird is scared to death. He probably just flew into the Walmart Supercenter to grab one of those birdseed concoctions molded into the shape of a bell for dinner when he lost his bearings. He can't find his way out of the store, and he is now in panic mode. The saying bird brain was invented for a reason. They have small ones, and they don't use what they have very well. So why be scared of such a tiny bird? Why be so bitter towards a poor, struggling animal? Perhaps I'm overreacting, you say. I beg to differ. A couple of years ago, I was accosted by an angry, terrified bird in a Kroger Mega Grand store. I honestly can say I will never be the same, and neither will that dumb bird. Here's how it went down. I ran into the grocery store after work to pick up a few items. For convenience, I stopped at the store that was closer to work, so it was not my home Kroger. All the produce was placed in completely different places, and I walked around aimlessly trying to find the organic section, in particular the celery. I was standing in front of a large display of carefully pyramided cantaloupe when out of the corner of my eye I spotted something dark and ominous. It was a bird, maybe a sparrow, flying at what appeared to be the speed of a fully engrossed Indy car. I stood there and thought to myself, that bird looks like it's flying directly toward me. The next thing I know, I feel something repeatedly beating me about the head and ear, and I hear the flap, 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 flap of bird wings. "Oh God, help me!" I yelled, flailing both arms up in the air, trying to fight off the crazed bird. I was feeling around for a celery stick to use as a sword. And in my panic, I jumped directly back into the large display of cantaloupe. At this point, the bird had tired of terrorizing me and had flown away to its next target, to target its next victim over in the dairy section. But I was still flailing my arms, rolling on the floor with about 50 cantaloupe. After I was sure I was bird free, I looked around at the scene. Gasping and out of breath, I was on my knees, surrounded by a sea of cantaloupe, some still whole, but most cracked open and oozing. My hair was tousled, my shirt had come untucked, and I was clutching my organic celery sword as if my life depended on it. The lady who had been restocking the iceberg lettuce rushed over to me while all the other shoppers in the produce section stared as if I had just decided to do a backflip into the cantaloupe for no reason at all. Like I was some sort of freak produce troublemaker. "Sir, are you okay?" the lady asked. I couldn't respond. I was incredibly embarrassed, and I just wanted to get out of the store. I tried to maintain some level of grace and finally told the woman, someone ought to do something about that bird. She looked around, either trying to see the bird or to look for security. Regardless, I could tell she did not believe I had been attacked. "Did you not see it?" I asked incredulously. Yes, sir, yes," she said as she helped me to my feet. I made my way to the checkout, getting madder with each step. That stupid bird had totally punked me right there in the produce section. He had done it so quickly and stealth-like that no one else had apparently even seen it. Stupid bird. Everyone just thought I was a big goober who had attacked the fresh fruit. Ugh, again, that bird. I knew he was somewhere in the rafters of the store looking at me and laughing. I decided to gather what was left of my dignity and pay for my celery, no cantaloupe, and go home. Thank goodness this was not my home Kroger. The entire time my items were being scanned and bagged, the clerk kept looking at my shirt. I thought she had a look on her face that said, "I really want to laugh right now, but I'll wait till you leave." I'd assumed she'd seen the incident, so I ignored her. When I looked down to swipe my debit card, I noticed it. That bird, that vile, evil bird, had pooped all over my maroon button-down. The stark white mess went from my shoulder down my arm and glared like it would glow in the dark against the color of my shirt. I looked up immediately and scanned the ceiling. I think I said something like, "You people need to get your bird problem under control," to the clerk, and then marched out the door, horrified. So heed my warning. When you see a bird trapped inside a large store, be very careful. Know that it is stupid. Know that it is vicious. Know that it is ticked off because it's too dumb to find its way out to the exit. And it's looking to make someone pay. You do not want to end up being on the security camera blooper reel at the Kroger employee Christmas party. I've been there, and it ain't pretty. So that is Free Range Bird. And that story happened at the Richmond Road Kroger in Lexington, Kentucky. And I never ever have been back there since that day. There's been many times I have driven out of my way to go to another Kroger or to a Meijer or to anywhere else but that Kroger because I can't go back. So that was it. That was our Friday night get together, and I hope you guys have a great weekend and have had a great week. Take some time to enjoy yourself this weekend, because even if you're home and you've been working from home, you got the weekend off, hopefully. So cheers. Happy weekend. See you soon.